I've just got my hands on a brand new 2025 golf club which tour pros around the world will utilise and help them lower their scores. However, mid-handicappers and high handicappers think there's a stigma around these clubs and may not think about using the new Srixon 7 wood. Hi everyone, my name's James and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, if you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, thank you so much for putting up with me on a daily basis. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already. And we're talking brand new Srixon ZXI because they've absolutely smashed it this year when it comes to forgiving golf clubs, and this iFlex face could potentially be the thing that helps you from this kind of distance, that kind of 200 yards and out, or even 160 or 70 yards and out, depending on your club head speed, ball speed, and of course, overall ability. Now, how good does that look, Bob? Beautiful. I think as a fairway wood looks, that looks absolutely gorgeous. We've got the rebound frame, we've got an adjustable hosel, we've got lots and lots of things here that can really help us potentially just play our best golf. So we're going to test it in here today, or out here today. We have been in the studio, which is why I just got my tongue tied, but is this the club that golfers around the world should be spending their money on instead of a new driver, instead of a new Scotty Cameron, instead of all those kind of bling clubs that are potentially just a little bit more sexy? There's nothing sexy about 7 wood, is there? Or is there? So we're going to test it off the tee first and just see if it's a little bit of a kind of fairway finder. It's 21 degrees. I love the head shape and style. It's lovely and small. We'll have that on screen now for you. It's like a kind of matte crown as well, which does look absolutely stunning. I love the lines at the back as well. A little bit of constructive criticism, I maybe would have done those lines in a slightly different colour to elongate how the head looks a little bit, but really, really nice looking club. Now, how does it feel and sound? Because, oh yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. Now, if you saw my review of the Srixon driver the other day, you may have noticed that there was something about it I didn't really like. And to be honest, the comment system got really upset with me. So I will apologise. If people do not care how a club looks or feels or sounds, I apologise. I personally do. So when I'm doing the reviews, I quite like to kind of give you guys my feedback. Of course, it's subjective feedback because everyone's opinions are different, which makes this great game great. Leave all that in, Bob, if you want, because I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But realistically, did it? Yeah. And I think Rob's kind of helping me there because the driver in the video, sorry, 1 minute. I think Bobby's kind of come to my rescue there because he's just said the driver did sound a lot worse in person than it did in the video. So unless you've actually gone and tested this driver, got fitted for it, maybe even you bought it and used it, you might like that kind of high-pitched ting noise. Personally, I don't. I like a bit more of a thud. If the driver went 10 yards further than any others on the market, then I'd have it. But it doesn't. It's very, very good and it's up there with the others. But for me, there's options out there that sound better, feel better, and potentially perform just as good or maybe a little bit better. First shot we've hit with this 7 wood, very, very nice, lovely high ball flight, exactly what you'd anticipate from a 7 wood. And say if you're under pressure and you really just want to hit a fairway, even that, I've hit the world's neckiest shot there, and it's done really, really well. It's still on the right-hand side of the fairway. It's still performed as I would hope a forgiving 7 wood would perform. Now, when you talk about the best golfers in the world, you put loft on a wood like this, so it's 21 degrees, it has that adjustable hosel, so you can see you can go all the way up to 22.5 degrees if you want. You can also change lie angle and optimize it for you. The best players in the world will be all over that, especially this week moving into the Masters and into perhaps a US Open on the PGA Tour. If you're in the UK like we are, there are certain golf courses this could be an absolute dream for you. There are other golf courses where you probably want the driving iron instead, so potentially figuring that out is a huge help to you as well. Let's see how versatile it can be though, because potentially versatility is a big factor when it comes to clubs like this. So if I can now just get this off the deck and play it just that little bit lower like that, all of a sudden Srixon could well be onto something with this forgiving club, because if you've got the air of forgiveness because of course it's a 7 wood, should we talk about the elephant in the room that a 5 wood used to be 21 degrees of loft? It did, didn't it? Like back in the day. But this is a 7 wood now, potentially. And we look at the turf interactions we've had here, especially the one off the deck, it just kind of glided through the turf really, really nicely because I've tried to de-loft it and I've tried to just hit a nice little low shot. So that's what's helping me here, this little kind of rail through the bottom of it. It's really helping get that turf interaction. Potentially if you did catch it that little bit duffy, then that might help you as well. Let's get down the fairway, let's hit some shots into this par 5, see just how consistent it can be. But I massively think that this could be a club to help you in your golf in 2025. Not me and my golf, because they don't need help, they're really good. So what I really like about those three shots is the middle one, which was a little bit necky. It ballooned up in the air a little bit, but it's finished here. So it's still in the fairway. It's down the right-hand side of the fairway, albeit, but it's just a tiny bit further back than the two good ones we hit. So the lower one we hit has gone a little bit further, and the first one we hit, which was a nice standard trajectory, has gone around that kind of 200, 210, which I would anticipate. The area that people might become unstuck with a 7-wood like this is potentially trying to chase distance. So if you get the 7-wood and then you crank it down and you're really trying to just hit a 5-wood or just hit a 3-wood. This is a club where you need to know how far it's going to go, and then you need to hit it that distance pretty much every time. People too often with fairway woods start getting embroiled in, well, I hit my 3-wood 260 yards. Yeah, but your driver goes like 263, so what's the point? You need to have a good gapping in the bag, and this Srixon ZXI could potentially be that for you on those long par 3s into par 5s that we're going to do now, and potentially something a little bit later on in the video which could blow your mind. Gary Martin. So Rob, we have 191 yards playing 210 yards with it being uphill. I'm going to give you that, thank you very much. This should be the club really, because how many people nowadays are going to use a 4-iron, maybe even a 5-iron, and not that many people. How many people are going to use a hybrid? Lots and lots and lots of people potentially will be using the hybrids. But I think the 7-wood's really kind of making a comeback, LL Cool J, because I think it's just a bit more forgiving. I think it's a bit more traditional. Can we get up there on this long, difficult hole? Oh, look at that. That's the exact shot, isn't it? Just a lovely high fade. Sounds fantastic, and that's literally flag high on the green, isn't it? Like, realistically here, if I'm hitting a 4-iron, I have to hit probably one of my top 10% swings. How often do I do that? Probably less than 10% of the time, which is why it's in the top 10% swings. But I certainly feel like this makes it, especially this club, because it looks really nice looking down. It fills you with confidence. And even that one that I've caught a little bit heavy, is that I'm going to be over the bunker potentially? Is that going to be just short of it? Not too bad. Was a little bit heavy, but realistically, how much forgiveness are you going to get from this distance from any other club? I don't think you're going to get that much. And also, how close would you anticipate to get from 200 yards? Would you anticipate 200 yards being a birdie opportunity? Would you anticipate 200 yards being an opportunity to just get up there, try and two-putt, get away with your par? I think it's probably the latter. Let's get that mud off the face. And let's see just how close we can get with this. Really impressed with the dispersion. Really nice accuracy. Oh, that felt absolutely phenomenal. And I love the ease of launch as well. I know it's got plenty of loft on it. I know it's doing the job that I want it to do. One thing I will say is the face is marking up quite quickly. This is a pretty much, well, it's a brand new club to be fair. So I would be probably a little bit miffed with that if I'd spent the money on it, because these things aren't cheap. Let's go there, let's see where they are, and then let's talk a little bit of a kind of secret use for this, which a lot of people don't really think about too much. I flex. Bobby flexes, don't you? Brr. So you can see there just where those three shots have finished. We have the one that ballooned up to the right. I caught that a little bit heavy and fat. That's just short right. The first shot we hit, it's landed on the green. You can see the pitch mark, and that's absolutely perfect for distance. And to be honest, that is a birdie opportunity from that 200 yards out. The third one we hit pulled slightly, and then it took a bit of a bad bounce, but it's still just above flag high. So again, from this distance, I'm quite happy with it. Now, this position here, it's a really funny one, because this wasn't going to be the kind of secret shot that I was telling you about, but Bob kind of had the idea, and a lot of people do struggle from here. And Chris uses this shot quite a lot, because a 7-wood having that little bit more loft on it is a little bit easier to just potentially just kind of bump up there and start playing some nice chip shots. I can't remember if I left that short that got caught up in the rough a little bit there. Not a shot I'd play, but Chris utilises this really, really well when he plays. There's loads of bounce on there, as you can see, so it pretty much makes it impossible to duff. So such as someone like Brett, who really struggles with his chip in, and Gaz, who really struggles with his chip in, this could be a really, really good club for you if you kind of practice and learn just how fire it comes off. You can see basically you're playing a putt with it, but it just skips, go on then. Oh, it just skips the first couple of yards. So if you've got like bumpy ground to go over, it can really, really help you just get nice and consistent with them. You can see how the ball's reacting on the dew there quite nicely. And yes, you can do this with a 5-wood, you can certainly do it with a hybrid, you could do it with a 3-wood, but they're all going to launch a little bit lower. The fact this has got that extra bit of loft on it, see I duffed, that was the duff one. and that's done better almost than the second one. Impossible to duff, kinda. Okay, I've just thrown down 3 golf balls here. We're about 200 yards out, maybe not quite that much, and you can see the lies we have. They're all, to be honest, they're all pretty terrible. And this is where, potentially from here, you don't necessarily have to be playing your yardage. You can use it as a bit of a gouging club. This is where some of the world's best players will put a club like this into practice. Very rarely do they hit it offline as much as we do, but if you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day, aren't you? So, like US Open, potentially, this could be something where you'd have loads of loft on it. Some of the world's best players are using 9 woods now as well, aren't they? And all I'm trying to do here is really get that loft on this ball and get it running up there. You can see it's not come out as high as it would do on the fairway, but it's certainly done the job, and that's just got to the right-hand side of that green we're just chipping to. This one's sat properly down, so this might come out as a bit of a flyer. Understanding how the ball reacts out of moist rough can really help. So how's this one going to come? And you can see that I kind of anticipated that might come out that way. That could be all over the flag, could it? So that's a greening regulation from there, from the rough, and it's almost easier to hit this club out of the rough than it is on the fairway. A, because your expectation isn't quite as high, and B, because of all the technology that's in here potentially helping you. So, guys, could you see yourself using any 7 wood, or in particular the Srixon ZXI 7 wood? That was sat awful, Bob, as well. Watch this come round. You can see I'm actually taking really nice big divots with that, and that's green. Is that green side? So I've hit 3 pretty good shots there. It is literally from where we just chipped from. But what I'm doing there is I'm hitting down on it a little bit more with plenty of loft on this club to help us with it, and potentially this could be the club that the world's best players are utilising, and you're not yet. See, oh, look at them there. Must have lost the rest of them. See you tomorrow.